Hi, good morning. Today we have the last problem from our group for hemiplegia and hemiparesis that was outside of the regular exercises. Let me show you in the book. These four problems, right? These four problems that they're not really exercises, they're your examples, but we're explaining because we have to explain every single part of the book. So just quickly, this is the page number and this is the number 4, the one we're going to do now. So I'm going to erase this. It means that we're completing that. And the name of the group is hemiplegia or hemiparesis. And this is where the theory is, where the main explanation for all these problems are in this theory. Okay, this is the code in U2. Okay, so the text for this exercise says hemiparesis due to all lumbar spinal cord injury. Let me read it again. Hemiparesis, which would be the main condition, right? Hemiparesis, right? And due to all lumbar spinal cord injury, which is the second condition. There was an injury at the beginning in the lumbar spinal cord. That's why there is a hemiparesis now, right? So, by these two conditions, we know that there are two codes. One for hemiparesis and one for the all lumbar spinal cord injury. Now, when we get to the hemiparesis, I just want you to point out, we're going to go in the path with Stephanie, but I want you to point out, we're going to find first the 3 characters for hemiparesis, and then for the 4th character, they ask you for the type. And the types that we have in the book are flaccid, spastic, and specified. And since for hemiparesis we don't have any type, that means that it's unspecified. Because all it says is hemiparesis. It doesn't say flaccid hemiparesis or spastic hemiparesis. It just says hemiparesis, so that's unspecified. Now, it also doesn't say what side of the body, because hemiparesis is half of the body. Is it the right, the left, the dominant side, the non-dominant side? That's the 5th character. You see? Right dominant, right non-dominant, left non-dominant, right? It doesn't tell us in the text, so we have to go with unspecified, which is the 0. So we know already that the 4th character is 9, and the 5th character will be 0 for the type and for the side. Now, when we go to the second code, after we find a code for injury to lumbar spinal cord, there's a 7th character that tells us what kind of code is this. Is this due to an initial encounter? If it's an initial encounter, it's an A code. If it's a subsequent encounter, which means that it just happened like yesterday you were discharged, right now you have the hemiparesis, that's subsequent, it's immediately, right? That's a D code. And a sequela is when it happened some time ago, and because of that you have it. And the all part, due to all, right here, this word all means that the last 7th character that we're going to have is a sequela, because it's not subsequent and it's not the initial encounter. It happened after you were discharged, and maybe a few days or a few weeks after. That's a sequela. That's what the 7th character, we need an S. Okay? Now, Stephanie is going to find the 2 codes for you, and we're going to be explaining what we find in the codes. Okay, I'm going to hold the camera, and Stephanie is going to do the search. Okay? You ready? Okay, so the first code that we have to find is hemiparesis, right?
Right.
So where do we go?
Okay. Hemiparesis, we go here.
In the index, right?
Index.
Where is it?
It starts with P. Here we go. Hemiparesis.
Hemiparesis, and what does it say?
C. Hemiplegia.
C. Hemiplegia. Okay, so we go to hemiplegia.
Right.
And there it is. And now, since we don't have any other indication, all we have is the word hemiparesis, which is hemiplegia, then we have to go with the first one, right?
Right.
G81.9.
Dash.
Right? Dash. Right?
Right.
So that's our initial code. Now, let's check that in the tabular then.
All right. Tabular. Now the dash can indicate anything. It had to be including the fifth digit.
The fifth digit, right?
In this case.
So how do we start in the tabular? Again, we start by?
We start by going to G81 first because these three digits are important.
Right. The first three characters is the category, right? So we have to start by the category and then we start there. G81, right?
Right.
Hemiplegia and hemiparesis, right?
Right.
Now, we're just checking. The second character that they told us was a 9, right?
Right.
So the 0 was a flaccid, the 1 was a spastic, and the 9 is unspecified, right?
Right.
Which were we saying in the explanation at the beginning. This is unspecified. And now we don't have a dominant side or right side, left side. We don't have anything of that. So the fifth character becomes?
And the fifth character becomes a 0.
Why? Because it's?
Unspecified.
Unspecified. We don't have a side and we don't have the knowledge whether it is a dominant or non-dominant. So we get a code. The first code is
G81.90.
Let me try to focus this a little bit. Hold on. Okay, so it's G81.90, right?
Right.
Okay, there you go. Now it's focused. Okay, so we have our first code, right?
Right.
Now, let's find the second code. The second code will be lumbar spinal cord injury.
Right.
So how do we start that?
We go to first the index.
The index, and then
injury.
Here's the problem, you see? Due to all lumbar spinal cord injury, and you see the injury is circle, which means is the main condition. So we have to start by that. So injury, right?
Right.
Go to injury, and then?
Spinal cord.
Let me put it on focus. Can you point? Where is it?
Yeah.
There it is.
Here.
You start with injury. Where's injury?
Injury was way over there. It has many.
Oh, okay, let's just start at the top of the page. It says injury continue, right?
Yes.
And then you go all the way to the S for spinal cord, right?
Yes.
Where is it?
Within A through C, we go to S.
Spinal cord, right?
Right.
And then?
Then we go down this column from cervical. Then we go up. Then it shows cervical. Then dorsal. Now lumbar.
Lumbar. That's it, right?
Right.
So that's our code. S34.109. Those are 6 characters, right?
Right.
And remember that in the introduction, we say we need a 7th character, right?
Right.
So let's go.
Because the check is including an additional character.
Right. The check means an additional character. You're right. So let's see that. You start with S.
Okay, we go to S34.
Which is the category. You always start with a category when you're checking the tabular.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where is it? S34, right?
Here we go.
There you go. What does it say?
S34, injury of lumbar and sacral spinal cord and nerves and abdomen, lower back, and pelvis lever.
Okay, then let's read the note right there, right?
Pelvis level, yes. Then
this
we
note.
go to this note.
Yeah, what does it say?
The appropriate 7th is to be added to each code from category S34.
Mm-hmm.
A is initial encounter. D is subsequent encounter. And S is sequela.
In our case, it's sequela because it says all, right?
Right.
So let's just remind that the 7th character is S. Let's keep going.
Right.
Gonna go to 1, right? Which is
S341.
right.
Right. Other and unspecified injury of lumbar and sacrospinal cord.
Right, and then
we go to S34.10, unspecified injury to lumbar spinal cord.
Because this is only lumbar, right? The previous one was both lumbar and sacral. This is just lumbar. Okay, keep going.
Then we go all the way down, and instead of from lumbar 1 through 5, we go to S34.109, unspecified injury to unspecified level of lumbar spinal cord.
Because we don't have a level, right?
Right.
So that's our code. But remember that we have to add to that code in 7 digits, right? Which would be S.
Right. It's quite common that we coders can forget to put in the 7th code because it doesn't include in this line over here. It says the 6th, but the 7th, they would definitely require it.
And that's why we have to remember to read the notes and remember then at the end. So we add an S at the end, right?
Right.
So can you write the code here? First, write the code for the hemiparesis that we found. The 3 here.
This one is G81, right?
G81.
G81.
Now the 4th character, you just put a circle on the one that we want. Would be
0.9.
Unspecified. Put a circle there. We want that. And the 5th character would be
Unspecified.
Which would be 0, right? We'll put a circle there. That's what we want. Excellent. So the general code or the total code would be G81.90, right?
Right.
Why don't you put it here so we remember, like point here, 90.
Okay, so whole thing?
Here.
Point 0.90.
90. Okay, we're gonna remember that this is the code. Now for the injury.
Okay. S34.
Right.
34.0 by 109.
Right, that's the code that we have, plus the 7th character that we choose from this table, which will be the
Sequela.
There you go, and an S there. That's it. We have the 2 codes, and then we check with the answer, right? This is the first one, and this is the second one, and we check with the answer, and the answer is exactly the same right here. G81.90 plus S34.109S, hemiparesis due to all lumbar and spinal cord injury. So we're done. Now let's a quick invitation for our website, and let me show you just one of the first links from the actual website real quick. This is to help you code, right? So we have the tools there. If you click on the data, there, it gives you a website where you can search for codes, right? It's in ICD-10 right now, but if you type hemiparesis, can you type hemiparesis there? And you type it, then you get, the first one you get is the ICD-10 code, the one we just did. You click there, and this changes automatically for ICD-10. So these guys are updated already. So there you have the code with ICD-10, and then you can go searching for it. So remember to visit our website right here, and then test it for yourself.